All right. Good evening, everyone. Once again, welcome to another episode of Stock Market Review. This is Coach Lottie here, and we are here to figure out and talk about what the market is doing today. So today, there's a few topics I also want to address. A couple of things I want to talk to you guys about that actually has absolutely nothing to do with the charts, but just about where we are and what's going on right now. But let's get started first and foremost with the market. This market right now is dangerous, very, very dangerous. Why? Because there's no trend, there's nothing. It is choppy and it's trapping everyone, buyers, sellers, everything. We are at a range, and it seems like every single day we either gap all the way up to the top of the range, and or we way down to the bottom of the range. So there's not nothing like a little swing trade you can do that. All swing trades being blown up right now. As far as when I'm talking about all swing trade getting blown up, I'm referring to more to the border market, like the indexes, like the QQQs and the SPY, the DIA, the IWMs. Those stocks, right? They just whipsawing. So it's like today bulls get trapped, tomorrow the sellers, the bears get trapped, and everyone's getting trapped. So on things like that, before I go into the chart, I just want to talk to you guys before I go into the chart, really. Just a reminder, if you guys are here, just please make sure to drop me a like. Give me any type of engagement. Empire Path, always here. I appreciate you. If you guys can drop me something in the chart, that would really help me with the engagement. It shows the YouTube algorithm. This is not something where I have some bots on here just watching me. And on top of that, it keeps me, upbeat. It keeps the energy, right? So being able to answer questions for you guys like you guys have been doing the past few days. And honestly, you guys would not believe what I'm seeing when it comes to the channel itself, how fast the channel is growing just by getting those engagement with you guys when you are here. And once again, why I personally like when you guys ask things, it lets me know I'm actually giving you guys something of value. I can teach you something, or maybe I can confirm something, or I can just make you aware of something. And sometimes you guys can make me aware of different things going on as well, right? Because I don't know everything. There's no way I can keep up with all the news and all the macro situations going on with the market. And everything in the world. I don't know. I try to stay as connected as I can, but as you guys are well aware, with everything going on in the world right now, there's a striking balance between being aware of what's going on and your sanity, because so many of the stuff going on is a bit insane. That might drive you a little crazy. All right, but going back to the market, what I want you guys to do, I'm over the next couple of days. Let me just say what I'm going to do, okay? Because I cannot tell you guys to buy, hold, or sell. Now that reminds me that I have to give you guys that disclosure. Nothing I say here is any suggestions for you guys to buy, hold, or sell any equities, anything whatsoever. This is strictly for educational purposes. I am not your financial advisor, right? So make sure you do your own due diligence if you want to invest or buy anything or sell anything. If you don't know what you're doing, make sure to contact a financial advisor. What I'm doing here every single night is translating what the stock market, the charts is saying to me. There's no emotion, no BS, no fluffs. This is Coach Law just letting you know what the market is telling me, and I'm also letting you guys know how I'm executing and what I'm doing with that information that I am getting. All right, but I'm not in no way, shape, or form telling you you must do this. So this is what I'm doing. I've been doing the past few days. I don't really take many trades, and as far as swing trades, right? And of the swing trades I'm taking longer dated swings, more like 6 months out, a year out, like things like that. And I'm only doing them on things that seems like they have been beaten down for quite some time, and I can see a pattern, and I'm trying to take those, right? And the only other thing you might see me try to dabble in is maybe if there's something that's taking off and it's doing like a clear pattern, I may get in for a quick top only on things that's holding up. Because right now, the conditions in the market, sometimes it's not about just taking trades. Sometimes it's okay to stay sit on your hands. I know it's hard, especially for those of you guys who trades daily, and if you do trade for a living, you sort of feel like you need to trade. You need to take a trade so you can earn some money and whatever. I don't have those urges. I'd rather not make anything than me just going out there and risking things. All right, because what they tell you, even when you have your own process, well, I always talk about POP, process over profit, stick into your trading plan, and so on and so forth. But this is how your mind get clouded at times, right? One of the things that happens, when you're hungry, everything looks like lunch. You know your process, you have your process, but you're like, this one will work. This one will work. Oh, this one didn't work, but that one should work. Oh, you know what? Nah, I just got three bad trades in a row. Um, I can't just stop taking a couple of trades for a few days on three straight losses. I gotta get a win. I don't do it. I don't do stuff like that anymore. It's okay. If I took a couple of trades that didn't go my way, it's okay. I'm in no rush for me to try to go. Like for those of you guys who know that in the morning sometimes I do trade small cap. I haven't traded small caps the past couple of days. Why? There's nothing. There's no volume. There's nothing. So I don't trade. All right. So that being said, once again, for those of you guys who are here, I appreciate you guys. If you are here watching, always would love to know where you guys are watching from. Drop me a like. Ask me a question. Drop me a thumbs up. Anything in the chat because every single interaction I get from you guys do help the algorithm push out those videos. And for those of you guys watching on replay, as usual, I appreciate you guys and thank you for being here. Thank you for sticking with me and thank you for watching the content every single time. Just remember one thing. Give me a thumbs up. All right, just keep liking those videos. So we're gonna get right into it, guys, just so we can see exactly what happened today. I'm going to just bear with me one quick second. You know what? Let me just switch the screen so you guys can see exactly what we are currently doing. Okay, just here we go. I am pulling up this thing and bam. Perfect. That should be popping up for you guys right now. For some reason, it was not coming up. Now that should be popping up. All right, here we go. And for those of you guys who might be new here, if you are, this is it again. It's process over profit. This is what we do. It is process over profit. You follow your process. It doesn't matter. Again, I tell every single person when I'm trading. Sometimes you go into see trade that does not meet your process, or if you cannot meet something does not fit within your process, just don't do it. All right. As long as you follow your process, the profits will follow. Just focus on the process. The profit will sort itself out. Now, this is the daily. We were looking at the daily right now. This is the line that we have. Say, hey, we need to reclaim this line right here for me to be convinced we can squeeze up. As of right now, we are not doing that. This is not being done. So therefore, we are still right inside of that bit of a wedge, that inside wedge that's playing out over here. This is the daily, and you guys can see it. Now, the good news with that is this is a nice bounce, but this was also a nice bounce. That's the crazy part. So nothing has changed. We're still right inside of those wedge pattern. All right. We might break down. We did it. So far, we're holding. Right. You guys can see the trend line. We are holding on that trend line. That's the same trend line we've been talking about the past couple of days. And even if we break this, it doesn't mean we're going to squeeze to make new high. It may be that we are going to do exactly what we've been doing over the past few times. Meaning every single time we gap above this level, where do we typically come? We would gap above. I can bring this down just a bit, just a tad. There you go. Every single time we gap above this zone, so we have these two blocks. That's these two zones, right? I can extend this all the way out. So we can refer to those as, let's say this is our plane. We're going to call this zone A. This is zone A, and this is zone B. All right. So as of right now, we are in we are in zone A. This all of this. So all that stuff right in there, all that is zone A. We're still inside of zone A. We're not doing anything extraordinary. We're not breaking down. We're not popping up. We're just consolidating in there the past week and a half, really. And even if we break zone A, we're just going to go right to zone B, which will be right in there, right? That's where we're going to be. You guys see, when last time we were at zone B, we were in there for quite a while, and excuse me, multiple times we think we were finally going to get that break, and that break just never happened. All right. Um, Zero DTE and one DTE. Ooh, that is tough. I'll try to address that a little bit. I'm not a big fan of zero DTE personally. Because I'll get on that. I'll get on that right toward the end of the live. I'll address that a little bit. Um, let's see. Right now, I want to focus on breaking down the charts as far as what the charts is currently telling us. Once again, so if I go in the let's dig in and see exactly what's happening. By the way, remember what I told you guys yesterday? It seems like every single candle, this is what we're doing. We go to the up to resistance, down to support on the trend line. Again, today up to resistance level. This is all we've been doing. Nothing new here. If you mess with me, you should know. Like last night when I talked to you guys, I told you, hey, this happened, but there's no panic. This is what I'm seeing. We might get a squeeze. All right. Now, if we go in the 4 hour time frame, what exactly are we seeing? I was telling you guys, it is possible that we may get something more like a double bottom to squeeze up. It seems like right now this is what's currently at play. Can we get it? I don't know for sure if we can get that. However, this is why we need to pay attention. The MACD looks good. Still in negative territory. It's below the 0 point line, the neutral line. It's still negative, but it has crossed up. So that's showing we have a little momentum to actually take us up. There's a little bit momentum there. Um, that's in the 2 hours. You know what? Let me take that off because I don't want to see this thing all over my chart nonstop. All right, so that's that. If we go in the 2 hours and see what we did again, look at that, guys. This is what we're doing the past couple of days. That's all. Unless you catching it at support, which seem to be a wedge between here. If you can catch it here and get out of there, this would be your best bet. But there's no real patterns here. That's not a. I mean, you can say this one. We call that. You guys remember when I called that we were dealing with a possible double top right up here, and that actually plays out. I think last night what I called was an inverted head and shoulder pattern. That actually ended up playing. No, it was a double bottom. I talked to you guys about double bottom. That actually played out. That was the double bottom that was done, and as you guys can see, that played out. Now, if we're looking at that currently, this is the 30 minutes. Now, there are some good news and there are some bad news. All right, all right. So this is what I'm going to show you guys. Right. So while we are squeezing, first of all, we need that MACD to extend a little higher, because what we don't want once again is the MACD to make a lower high and give us a bearish divergence while we are making a lower high right there. We don't want that to happen. But at the same time, you could make a case that says, hey, what we are doing here is what? If you're not familiar with this pattern, this is called a cup and handle. All right. Some people will call that a cup and handle, or if you have the eye for it, you can clearly see this is a double bottom pattern. We drop, we pull back up, but retracement, we drop, we pull back up, and right now we are consolidating. So you could say this is we have a bull flag being done right at the end of the double bottom, right? So we got a W is done. Now that this is done, we can see what are we seeing here. We pull up, and now we're having a bit of consolidation, which would give us a bull flag. All right. Now, I always tell you guys, this is one of those things that I tell you guys all the time. It's not just about the pattern that you guys see, is where exactly is that pattern being formed. So right now we have a bull flag, or you could say it's a cup and handle pattern being formed, but where? At strong structural support level. This is what has been done. To me, this is not something I'm going to buy to try to squeeze to get that squeeze up. Now, if that move was done right above this level, right? If we were doing that flag, if the pole had come up to here, and now we're doing this, right, retesting this, absolutely, I would have taken that trade. Try to catch that squeeze up to that to the resistance level, to the top of the range. But I'm not going to do that. I did not trade that as of right now. Since we are squeezing a little bit, I just pretty much stayed out of it. I stayed out of it. I'm like, hey, I just want to let it work itself out. I'm just going to stay out of it. Now, tomorrow, again, I don't want you to forget tomorrow. I believe Nvidia reports tomorrow, which could be a big event for the market. Many times when the market is on situations like that, Nvidia has been used as the catalyst to push the market up. Even when Nvidia itself does not win, it doesn't pop on earnings, but a lot of times Nvidia is used to push the market up because it builds confidence. It's completely tied. It's the father and you can say the boss of the AI trade. So that gives full confidence into going right back into the data centers and those the AI trade overall. All right. Um, Now digging into the 2 hours, I believe I had the 2 hours already. If we go back to the 30 minutes, we had that. All right, okay, so that's the S&P 500. Again, the S&P 500 is exactly the same for the SPX and the SPY. I'm using the SPY because this chart is a little bit cleaner because I don't really use it as much, so it's a little cleaner. That's the reason I use that instead of using the at the SPY. If I click on the SPY right now, this is how much stuff you guys see here, right? Actually, it's not that busy. It's not that busy, actually. But you guys can see this is the exact same chart. There's no real difference. All right. Let me just go right back. There's one more thing I wanted to check. I feel like there's something I did not properly looked at. I just want to see if we have a trend line from the top side at all that might hinder us. Let's see. And would you look at that? This is why I love trend line. This is why I love trend line. Would you look at that? We take this, connect this to this high, and this is why when we got here today, we could not pierce it because we are right below the trend line. That's what we are seeing. Now, here's the other beautiful thing, right? So now it seems like this is going to be the neckline. The neckline for what? You guys should be able to see exactly which pattern I'm referring to. You guys should know it. If you hear you mess with me, you should know that pattern. All right? We are doing an inverted head and shoulder pattern, right? Which would be a bullish sign. What I don't like about it, frankly, what I would tell you guys I do not like about it, I would say the fact that the right shoulder is being formed much lower. So it's a lower right shoulder. I don't like that. I would prefer the right shoulder being formed a little higher. But here's the funny thing: if you're looking at the range of the left shoulder, oh, I just moved the wrong thing. Looking at the range of the left shoulder, it goes all the way down here. But this is like almost an inside left shoulder, right? So it doesn't extend all the way down, but it doesn't extend all the way up either. So I don't think this is that strong. But what would trigger me to actually get this trade for a swing trade? My trigger would be a break above this level. So I'm using this as the neckline. All right. So for those of you guys who trade the SPY, like if I go on the SPY, you might see this just a little cleaner. There you go. Now that we are on the SPY, you can see this just a little longer, a little clearer. There it is. You can see it right here, up, doing that. This is shoulder, shoulder. It's kind of funny because the shoulders in the SPY is actually right next to each other, as opposed to um, to the SPX. All right, so I switched over here since that's what most of you guys trade, and I know I already have a trend line that goes all the way down through here. Again, there's another trend line. You can have multiple trend lines on a chart. You can absolutely have multiple trend line on the chart. All right, so that way you know where exactly where things are. Just a reminder. I want to remind you guys once again. I'm gonna go full screen. Trend lines are dynamic support, and your trend line should be, especially your intraday trend lines, should be updated I'll say every 2 hours. Try look to see if there's a new one that is formed. There's always, unless you're at all-time high, there's always going to be a trend line. All right. So your trend line going up, either going to be this way or it's going to be that way. The only way you're not going to have a trend line is when you have an horizontal support, right? Or resistance. That's the only time. Unless you have that, there will always be different trend lines that you guys can see. All right. And if you here, you know I love trading with trend lines. I think trend lines is one of the best tool we have for candlestick analysis. Let's just say chart analysis overall, because not everyone uses candlestick, but I do love using candlesticks. All right. So if I have this trend line, that shows me what? Again, when we go to these levels, they don't surprise me because before that even happened, as the stock is rallying up intraday, as we getting close to here, I already know this is problematic. We may not be able to take this. Now, what this seems to be doing right now, based on the after hour action, seems like we hit it, we pull back, and we actually going to try to take it again. We're going to see as of tomorrow if we could take it. We're going to see how these things play out. But what is one thing I remember? One thing I told you guys yesterday, right? Little sneaky thing in case you forgot. I had told you guys we had an 85% probability of having a green day today, today's session or tomorrow. Does anybody remember why? If you don't, I'll remind you once again. Whenever the VIX pop above 10%, we have an 85% chance probability of having a green, or let's just say reversal, because it was a green either up or down. 85% chance of a reversal day within the next two trading sessions. This is something that has been done. Data that has been we're relying on data that has gone as far back as over 100 years. All right, and if the VIX is above 20%, that probability jumped to like 95%. So today that we squeezed up today, it didn't surprise me. It should not surprise you. We didn't really have good news to really push it up like that, but it should not surprise any of you because I told you guys that last night, right? In the live last night, I told you guys that. Once again, if you are here, guys, if you are here, please remember to like the live, drop me a comment, drop me a thumbs up, anything, because any engagement that you guys give me do help the live, even after the live is done. That helps those videos get pushed out to the algorithm. All right, so I would really appreciate that if you guys can do that for me. Anyway, getting right back into the chart again. Right now we are looking a bit bullish, but at the same time, we need to confirm that move. We seem to be trying to make that break. We have not been able to break this level. We've been trying to break it, so we'll see what happens. Um, but if you say, hey, Coach Lord, would you take a break for a swing trade here? I would not. Why? I'll give you my case. I'm glad you asked. This is where structural resistance start, right there, right? We are 688. This is 688. Now 687. Yeah, so let's say 680, 87.95. So 688, and we have a 1 point move to 689 until we start hitting onto structural resistance. Once we pass that, this is a zone because it's so heavy. It's a zone because there has been so many wicks and whatever. So I had to, when I draw that, I'm gonna show you guys on the daily so you guys can see why I have zones instead of just one line, right? And then within that zone, we have a downward trend line right here. We have a downward trend line that comes through that is going to have to deal with. All right. So, meaning I need to see something happen. Now, what's the best case scenario based on the MACD? What I'm looking at, this is what I want to see in the MACD. You can see we're losing a bit momentum already. Maybe a curl up from here, a pullback, and a higher low to make a bullish divergence so we can continue to move. Meaning, on the chart, how exactly would that represent itself on the chart? We're talking about maybe a possible move out, curl back, retest the zone, and then we go. All right, maybe that might be our best bet, but how exactly is the market going to move? Will it give you a chance to find a good entry? We'll see how that works out. Okay. Once again, let's see if we go right now, Linda. I see you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Let's see if I go on. The Qs. I don't believe I've reviewed the Qs with you guys already. The Qs, that's the Nasdaq. Once again, if you are here for the first time, is that's the first time here. The Qs, this is the tech stocks. So there's a lot writing on this for Nvidia. Before I switch, there's one thing I said I wanted to show you guys. One more thing on the SPY, I wanted to show you guys. This is why I have so many wicks and why I have zones on all these things. Look at that. We tried here, couldn't take it. We tried there. This time, when we tried to pierce, we went all the way up there. So I want to account for that, right? Then we had this here again, so you guys can see it. This is why I have a block of a zone as opposed to a solid line for the resistance level. That's the reason we have that there. All right. Now let me go right back into the Qs. See what we are doing in the Qs. Now, the SPY is doing a lot better. The Qs, I have no idea what this is. This still doesn't look very good. This still doesn't look very good. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Uh, on the daily, the best thing we can hope we can say on the daily is the fact that we are oversold in the MACD. So hopefully the MACD can actually curl up, right, to try to give us that push. Hopefully that can happen. We are heavily um, oversold in the MACD. But if you're looking at the candlestick patterns on the daily, not seeing much, and this is how everybody's getting trapped, man. Look at that. Like this drop seems like we're going to get a reversal. You have a nice big green candle, more like an engulfing candle that engulfs, a couple of days, which would mean, hey, you know what, we should be squeezing. But guess what? We are right at resistance level. Say, and then yesterday, what did we do yesterday? We did a bearish Arami, but I told you guys the exact same thing again yesterday. Bearish Arami, very bearish pattern. So that means we're going what? We're going down. But guess what? It happened at strong structural support. So it does not carry the same weight as if this was happening at resistance levels. So that's why I don't take those trades. This is how you avoid getting stuck in in those things like false breakouts. I mean, this never broke out, but this is how you avoid certain trades. It's not just seeing the patterns, but getting the full context, right? The pattern is just a piece of the puzzle. All right, that's just a piece of the puzzle. You got to put the puzzle together to see the whole picture. Another thing I wanted to show you guys, I want to take a quick look at let's See, I think I was talking to you guys today. We reviewed the ES. That's the S&P futures. Now, talking about busy, why I don't review this one much with you guys. First of all, it is currently open and live, but I don't review that much with you guys because this is obviously very, very busy, right? Look at that. And I've already cleaned that a lot because that is something that I trade on a daily basis. If you are new here, I do trade with prop firms. I trade futures every single day. This is why you guys are seeing what you are seeing right now. So what are we seeing right now? This is a live market. This is live. That market, this market is live. You can see we actually trying to squeeze up. Again, this is our level of resistance that I have here. I just want to extend that. This is resistance level. Right now we are trying to squeeze up. Can we continue that move? We shall see. But this is where the strong resistance lie. Once again, it's those lines. Right now, this is how everyone's getting trapped right now. Everybody's getting trapped. When you think we're about to squeeze on the way up, and it's like, hey, we at resistance, we just can't make it because institutions keep dumping. Now, with the state of the union happening right now, maybe something is said, might have been said, or something is scheduled to be said that might push some stock up or the market up. I'm pretty sure that is something every president try to do anyway. That is, I'm pretty sure some stuff will be said to push the market up. But one thing I will tell you guys, we are not the insiders. I can guarantee you, the people who are going to make that money in certain stocks, they already took positions. Maybe yesterday, maybe this morning, and but most likely yesterday when we had that red day yesterday, they took advantage to get in position. All right. This is why I like to buy on red days. When you buy on green days, you're already behind the eight ball. All right. This is why I love buying, especially when I'm doing swings. I like to buy on red days. You guys might think I'm a little nuts when I do that. Like I would tell you guys, hey, this is dropping to support. It's right there. I'm buying. This is the way I do it because those guys they're not buying up there. They want to sell up there, right? So they buy down here. Most retail traders buy up there and then they drop it. Like think about that, right? How many times have you guys got into a trade and as soon as you get into a trade, it just goes against you, especially before you learn candlestick patterns. Hopefully, you guys coming here and watching and learning and seeing me doing those breakdowns and letting you know those specific levels and whatever. I'm hoping that you are taking notes and marking those in your charts if you actively trade those intraday, because those levels will be respected. I'm not trying to be cocky by saying that. I'm letting you they are going to be respected because they have been respected before. So until a level have shown you, until the market have shown you it has been able to break or above or break below a certain level, use those levels as walls. That's the way you treat them until proven otherwise. Show me what you got. You can go through it. No, don't tell me you might go through it or you can go through it. Run through it. I'm not taking your word for it. That's the way you treat the market, and you see exactly what happens when you see that. Then you can take your position. Now let me go back. There's one question I wanted to address. It was a question about let's see. Can we give some pointers when dealing with zero DTE? I don't trade zero DTE. I know this is something that's making the rounds now. A lot of people trading it. Why I don't trade it is because I'm very, very familiar with the Greeks. If you trade options, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with the Greeks. But for those of you guys who do not trade options, when I'm talking about the Greeks, I'm talking about mostly especially for zero DTE, it's a big focus on Tether. All right. So Tether is the amount of money and the amount of value. Let me just not say money. The value an option contract lose every single day. Zero DTE means those contracts will expire today. So instead of a specific amount that the contract will lose every single a single day, it's now they start losing that within like minutes and hours. So that is quick. and you have no idea when it's going to happen. And let's say some whatever thing happened, it imply volatility drops, even if the stock has not moved, even if the stock is going your direction, but if the IV drop, right? If the implied volatility drops, you lose money, right? And Tether is dropping, you lose money. So you would need something that's a warner. So you have to trade very quick. You can't get in the trade and be very patient with it. This is the problem that I have. So the way that I trade, when I'm trading intraday, I'm trading the SPY or I'm trading the Qs. What I like to do is go like 3 to 4 days out. That's what I do. I don't trade zero DTE. I don't trade next day. I always go out a couple of days. Sure, it's a little more expensive. It is. I know that. However, that is something that I have found that helps me sometimes to stay in trades a little longer, especially if they're wanting. To be able to make a little more, because when you're doing zero DTE, you are race against time. I don't wanna waste father time. All right. They say father time is undefeated. I'm not going to take that on. I mean, I know the context is not exactly the same, but this is why I do not trade that here. Let's see. So anyways, this is why I do not trade zero DTE, because it's not just about the trade going in your favor, but it needs to happen quick. All right. So it's like you can't really deal with consolidation, because even if the trade is might be working in your favor, if it's not moving fast enough, if you have stop loss, because when that tether hit, it might take out your stop loss. So this is why I do not trade that personally, but I do know it is very popular. Some people trade it, right? So I cannot tell you either way. I can only let you know what I trade. I trade 2 to 3 days out. This is what I trade. I will not trade the SPY, the SPY, or the Qs. This is the way that I trade it. Let's see. Do we have any other questions here? You guys are mightily quiet today. Let me see. I don't think I have any other questions here. All right. Well, it is 9:40. I'm wishing everyone. Oh, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna check one more thing. One more thing. I almost forgot. I almost forgot. You guys should have reminded me. Um, for those of you guys who trade Bitcoin, I wish I could come here and say, "Yay, Bitcoin's finally doing something." Man, this stinking thing is not really doing anything besides dropping. All it did was go down, and this is why you have those zones. Again, guys, I know I joke sometimes about being a prophet when it comes to the stock market, about where things are going, where they will bounce. I've had those levels drawn up and set for dating back to November. And as you guys can see, all these things comes exactly to support level. All right, they all come to support level, and that thing dropped. All it did was come to that bit of support level, and it's doing a bit of a bounce. Now the way it's shaping out, it seems like it's forming a bit of a morning star pattern. So with that morning star pattern, maybe we get a bit of a squeeze. What, I don't know, a squeeze to 71, and I'm only calling 71 because that's where the resistance starts. Until again, it has shown me it can take that level. This is all I would call from it. I wouldn't buy this right now to hold. I'm not seeing the momentum. I am not seeing that coming in. If I check the 2 hours, 2 hours is curling up, but once again, nothing big. Looking at all of those, um, nothing big. What did we have here? Pattern that we like. You guys can see it. Once again, it's a bit of a head and shoulder, left shoulder here, right shoulder there, and we have the breakout and we're squeezing. So yeah, we have potential to do a bit of a pop. But how big of a pop, I do not know. So it seems like where it is right now, if I just squeeze that in just a little bit more so it could show a bit more, what he's doing once again, it's another head and shoulder pattern. It seems like he's doing that more at a higher level. So when they are, the bigger the head and shoulder pattern, the bigger the move. All right, the bigger the head and shoulder pattern, the bigger the move. Um, so we just want to see exactly what that is for those of you guys who trade Bitcoin. Again, I feel for you. I wish you guys the best, because this is dreadful. Where's Solana or ETH? Let's check on Ether. Ether is also bleeding and bleeding hard. Ether is bleeding hard. This is what this is doing. It's doing a bear flag really. All these things you're looking at it, we had a big drop and we just consolidating. This is a bear flag. Right now, I don't have any hopes yet. At the very least, I need to see this. So this is the Fibonacci retracement. If you don't know what the Fibonacci retracement is, you don't trade with that. I have all those videos coming on the channel. You will get a chance to start learning those things. Now, again, it's not going to be a full course. I'm not gonna put a full course. I teach that. If you wanna actually learn to trade, you can come and learn me. I have a class. You can take the course. I can do that, but I will have a few things here and there that I will be putting out where you can learn a few things. So if you're somebody who already know how to trade, just a few things you want to add to your arsenal, that might be useful. But if you don't know how to trade, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to make a whole plan to make on YouTube so you can learn to trade. All right. But if you're interested, contact me. Let me know. We'll figure something out. All right. So that's about all I have for you guys today. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. Let's see. Yep. ES1. That's what we trade, man. We love the ES1 guys. For those of you who trade, by the way, I'm starting to trade the Asia market, which opens at 6 p.m. Eastern time on the live chat. I was here today. I didn't expect to see anyone, but I just got on anyway. But I start trading that now, also at 6 p.m. just to see if there are some things. More often than not, it's a bit slow, but I've been testing it out. Couple of days ago, I think a few of you guys saw that trade where we pulled some money out of the market. Today, I got a nice little trade on that as well. Today, right before this live, which was great. So I will be on, and those guys in the paid community, I will be on Teams right after this call. I'm feeling better now. My voice is a lot clearer. But as I told you guys, hey man, I'm staying hydrated. We're drinking a ton of water, vitamin C, eating oranges, whatever it is. I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this thing, doing sauna sessions, working out, sweating it out. We a hot shower. I hate hot showers. I'll be honest, but we're doing it all because I gotta make sure I'm on top of my game, not just for me, but for you guys as well. We come here to learn every night. And get what you need from those lives. Again, those of you guys in the community, I will see you guys shortly, right when we close here. I'm moving over to the community so we can review a couple of things. And if you are not part of the community and you are watching this, just a reminder, and you're watching this on replay, the link for the community on WhatsApp, the community itself is free. There are some restricted rooms, but the community is free. The link is always in the description of this video. You can click on the link and join the community. I will see you guys tomorrow. I have to go. It's been a pleasure. I always enjoy coming here and teaching you guys a few things, and I always enjoy the interaction. I do appreciate you guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.